Okay, we are live. So the first one. So first, I will just read out this shloka. It is too good, and then we will go into that. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitri karuna evacha nirmamaha nirahankaraha samadukka sukha kshami. So this is what it is. In my experience, what I had done is that I had made consciousness as pure when I was practicing, meaning to say that there is no defect in consciousness, there is defect in the mind. So now when I look at the mind has two functions. It has feeling, it feels something. It need not be this or that, it just feels something based upon a situation presented to it. Let's say there is a debate on who should win the election, so there is a feeling that this person should win and that person shouldn't win based upon the interest I have generated towards one particular person or one particular party or one particular symbol or one particular ideology or whatever it is. So this is one, and then there is perception. So when I look at perception, perception has manifold functions. One perception is to perceive an object coming into something, and the second thing is to intellectualize that object, to trying to know what that object is. So what I am going to do is, let's say there is this political party which is which I like. That liking is a feeling, and there is a perception that is intellectualizing that this is good for the country. That's the perception. Intellectually I am able to do that. Then the third one is memory. So I can, then the intellectualization creates memory patterns, which is what I found out while meditating, that how neurons fire based upon memory. So if I have made something as a habit, so it becomes part of life. So let's say I have made coffee drinking as part of my habit. So every time coffee smell is shown, that perception of coffee comes into existence, which has memory and intellect, and based upon the feeling it will tell me that you can perceive this, you can know this is coffee. So if somebody were to say that this coffee is from Mexico and that coffee is from some other place, and this is like Cuba, and this is from Chikmagalur, so, and wherever coffee is grown other than any places, so then if I develop a taste for it, then I start enjoying it. This is the ananda what comes in. So one is that I have an intellectual ananda, that is intellectual enjoyment, that I am having the right coffee, which is again a perception, because there is a literature which says that why this coffee is good and why they add chicory and a lot of things, and maybe tea or what like that, any other substance I have. So using that, then I have a feeling. So I get a feeling of happiness, as though coffee or tea is providing that happiness to me, or that object is providing happiness to me. So what I did while I started meditating, or rather looking at how do I experience Brahman, what I did was to make Brahman without any kind of desires, any kind of expectations, any kind of symbolisms, any kind of perceptions, any kind of feeling. So it becomes very clear to me that when I am feeling something, it's a mind which is feeling. It's not the consciousness which is feeling. It's got nothing to do with the feeling. If it feels something, let's say the consciousness were to feel something, that means it becomes locked into the mind. So to feel universal, what strategy I had used is to consider this as without feeling and without perception. Whereas it is just like the electricity which will give the energy, but it doesn't perceive nor feel itself. Like the electricity is coming into my computer, but it doesn't become a computer, and it is coming into, let us say, my music system, my home, and heater or whatever it is. So all these are nama and rupa, but then the electricity as such has no form and no feeling, meaning to say that it cannot perceive. So I made that in my mind to work it out. What I made is that consciousness is pure without feeling and perception. So then it becomes easy for me to see if I am feeling something. Let's say I am feeling good, it is the mind which is feeling good. If it is feeling bad, it's a mind which is feeling bad, because there is an underlying perceivability, knowledge, plus the intellectualization, plus the memory, which is saying that this is what good for you based upon whatever I have read or studied or known through friends or families or whatever it is. So now I can distinguish between what consciousness can do and what mind can do. So when I did that, this dvesha went away. So now I don't have anything to hate on anything, because it is consciousness doesn't hate anything. So if I have a hatredness for someone, like a political party or a person or a religion or an identity or a tree or a plant or whatever it is, or for sun and cold and all that, right? So I might have, even for nature, I might have this hatred tendency that why it is so hot, why it is so cold, something like that. So I don't have that. This was my strategy of how to get out of this dvesha, that is hatredness. So now he says that adveshta sarva bhutanam, that is non-hatredness towards all beings, because all the beings are created from the same consciousness. So there is nothing to hate there, because it is a consciousness which is assembling the five elements and seems to be a bird or a dog or a cat or a human or whatever it is. It's not a individual sitting there and becoming that. There is no individual. It is just the consciousness with the five elements. This was my experience. So I would like to know from all the three of you, what is the strategy you have or you have tried for this adveshta, or you want to try? I think one of you can take the lead, and then other two can continue.
Yeah, Lapa, I can do that.
What? So what do you want me to tell us? How I try to understand Brahman, or?
Yeah, how what is your strategy to come out of dvesha? See, I just explained what I did for dvesha. So what is your plan, or what is that you want to do, or you have done, or you have tried something to ensure that the dvesha does not come?
Yeah, so I have been experimenting with this kind of sound. Okay, that is I have been doing for some time now, and certain sounds used to irritate me. So then I have been thinking. I think I have already told this before. So when you deeply contemplate on the sounds, whatever you hear, you feel that it is the om getting distorted.
Correct.
When it gets touched in some combination of five elements, it will touches that and then kind of distorted it, and then it will again merge into om. So then I was thinking, why should I get agitated by some certain sounds? So that's how, and it took me a long time. It is not that I could get to the state very soon. I was also recently only I was able to do. I was able to get over that dvesha. So when you put that in and continuously contemplate and look at it from that perspective, that it is om. I am talking about the sound.
Right.
If it is om, then I was able to not get irritated with certain sounds. Right. So and then I was also observing what are the sounds which we make. What are the sounds that I have Bruno now. So Bruno is walking around. So what he makes. So when he eats, the same sound comes. When he scratches, the same sound comes. And there are many. And he also snores, and it also sounds like a human snoring. And he also dreams. I would make out because in the dream he even barks. All that I have started observing. So there is actually no difference. Only that body, whatever you have, is different, and then based on that, some sounds will come. Even in otherwise also, whatever sounds you hear from the bird sounds sweet maybe, and so it's all just some equipment is put in between the om, and om goes through it and it gets distorted and then it merges into that. So that's what I did with sound, because sound was the one I felt was weakest for me.
Okay, very good.
The other thing which I tried to do was, that is awareness meditation. So what that I was trying to do is observing everything, including yourself, and then really and the imagination point of view, but then really trying to observe yourself. So I continuously now observe myself, my thoughts, my actions, the way I walk, everything I keep observing, and the way I interact with other people. So everything I keep observing. So that is somehow kind of working. It's not that every time when I am successful, sometimes I get carried away by the mind, and then after some time I remember, okay, that I have gone somewhere, and then I come back. So but when I am conscious about it, this is what I do, kind of observing, and nowadays I am able to also stop all my thoughts at will, not for a long time, but a very short period of time. So in that moment when your mind is stopped, there is nothing there, you are like suspended somewhere, that time that bliss comes.
Right.
So this is the strategy I adopt. I continuously keep doing it, and now I should take, and even the sight I am not so much, anyway I am not a very observant person. I don't, get affected by the sight of anything, but the sound was the one which was kind of making me go in different directions, I felt. So this is what I have done, and I keep doing whatever meditation you taught, this five senses, observing the sound and then touch and sight I don't do, because when I'm doing meditation I close my eyes, but other things I do, and then during that time the mind can be stopped at, or I can't say mind, but the thoughts can be stopped at will.
Yes, very good achievement. Nice. I mean, you are doing it right is what I can say, because you can take one of the senses and develop it completely, like the sound, right? So once you are out of the sound, you will never hear any sound at all.
Yes.
It becomes pure silence in the sense that there is sound outside but you will not hear anything.
there is silence inside.
Yes, there is
I
silence.
understood that.
Yes, so that is a beautiful state to be, and the mind will never get agitated. If the mind is not agitated, then you have established advesta, because there is no hatredness to any creature. So you would have put that advesta into action. First quality would have got established, or will get established.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear from the other two. Good, thank you, Lata.
I can do after Padmasri.
Good, very good strategy, but Padmashri, it's your turn.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
1 minute. The mute button was not getting muted.
Yeah.
So what I would want to say, for me also sight was not the most important thing, because I could, it was not creating any thoughts or any negative or positive thoughts when I saw things. Though observation is something which I have always been, even when I was young, I was known to be good at observing. So I was, but still those don't create any positive or negative thoughts inside. But sound, yes. But then I tried it with, there has been in our community there are a lot of cats, and these cats, they are generally they are not stray, but they are not. They are domesticated, but they are not inside the house of the people, but they keep moving around everywhere. They litter, and they also make littering is one small problem, but they can kind of make a lot of sounds. They make a sound as if a child is crying, so that starts to be a little bit affecting, especially in a day you hear this 4-5 times, and you suddenly get worried whether a child is crying, and it's a really kind of a cry which makes you observe what is happening. So I used to get very irritated. Then the moment I used to understand that this is a cat, I used to search for the cat and just because for a long time, once it starts that mode, it starts to cry for a long time. I used to search for it and shoo it away. But then after some time, then I started to understand that after all it's a sound. Why am I so irritated with this sound? So I started kind of at that time giving importance to something else, meaning the work that I was doing rather than giving importance to that sound. I wouldn't say for me I thought of home and all did come, but then I started to kind of not started to see that sound as an ordinary sound. There's so much of birds chirping, I didn't give a thought to it. So like that I pushed this into the background, and I now no longer feel that kind of engagement towards that. So that perhaps is one of the ways that I have tried.
Okay, good one. Nice. Yeah, but it's your turn now.
Yeah, today's discussion is around Dvesha, how you are overcoming, or with respect to this sound and taste and all that, Dvesha. What is the exact topic here?
It is about dvesha. It can be sound, it can be taste, it can be touch, it can be whatever.
It can be anything. Dvesha, okay. Let me define the Dvesha, what I look at as Dvesha. See, if a person is coming with the negative energy, because I can feel, I am very sensitive nowadays. Because after that person talking about some 10 sentences, you will understand. Okay. During that time, there are two varieties. One is that person is trying and joining. It may be a family member or anything for any common for goal, and then he may add positively, or he may be a neutral, and he may be negatively. There are three variety of people which I could make out most of the time. So if that person is like give and take kind of relationship, no problem, because it adds value. When that person is negatively doing, then I immediately get a feel that some negative energy is entering, then naturally the dvesha comes. How to get rid of this person? Because then don't feel like listening to such people because it is a waste of time. That was the situation. And even now also, instantly that kind of situation comes the moment I see people. And then the people who are regularly interacting, during that time also this happens. That triggers based on the situation based. Sometimes, you have heavy demand because of the common need, common goals. Then the other person will not be cooperative and he will try to escape from there, giving some reasons. Or that person may not like it. So then also instantly dvesha comes to that person as well as to me. So now, one thing is how to understand this dvesha to observation and also the feel. The moment I feel that my the breathing changes, body becomes heavy, and inside the stomach you have some issues that you are the loser and butterflies and all that gives a feel that something is not going well. Then naturally the dvesha comes. Okay, it comes like a srishti inside, and I am able to very clearly observe nowadays. Since 2 years, it's a very good observation I am able to do. And immediately the other angle called, the observation comes into picture. The moment observation comes into picture, it says again to my mind, why are you doing this? Why you are getting either angry or losing your energy? Suddenly your facial expression, everything changes. Sometimes it may go to a level of even shouting also. Question is, why are you doing? What is the benefit for you? There is no benefit. So in that case, why are you getting into that mode? That question comes. That question comes generally after that event is over. Nowadays, I am able to think, during that time itself, at that instant, I am able to. Then immediately inside one message comes, okay, now if you want to get rid of this kind of situation, you don't react negatively or in a way where other person doesn't like you. Just try to be as cool as possible. Then other person will get the message of that also. So I have seen that other person is able to get a message. The moment I go to a mode of higher negative energy, that person also comes with a more negative energy. If I go with the, when the situation is hot, because expectation versus delivery, right, every time. If that doesn't happen, then naturally if I go cool, other person is not going to next level at all. He also start thinking that what's happening, it's unusual to that other person. And I have seen when I am very aware about that situation and I'm acting that, because I'm trying, it's like a yoga, a lot of effort is required to do that. Then I have seen other person also start thinking why this person is reacting in a different way, not like his old way of reaction. That person thinks, and I have seen there is no hot situation. Things are becoming cool, but uncomfort is there both sides now because things are not happening the way it is required. Then I have seen that cool is somehow, both me and the other person on the other side slowly getting detached, but without any dvesha inside. And then that is not the time to discuss. Then when the things are all better, then the other person comes on his own, and I have seen that he is discussing and continuing in such a way that he adds value to the situation. So that is my observation, and I have seen in the past 4 or 5 months the intensity of becoming cooler is increased a lot. And when I sleep, whole day I also analyze myself. What happened today? What's happening? How I should react to situation? Because I look from the spirituality point of view. Because for me, spiritual goal is very, very important. The morning, evening, I told I am getting this from you morning and evening from Mother Upanishad related teaching. So that gives me a feel that when I wake up in the morning, also I observe myself whether in what mood I am in, and also I am trying to think why that mood is. Sometimes I told suddenly low energy with no reason. That is something is going wrong also somewhere. Sometimes neutral. Sometimes suddenly you can say very positive energy. The whole day is very positive. I am able to sense much in advance. So what I found with that, dvesha, yes, I am able to clearly feel, and then I am also able to slowly overcome that situation. With a lot of prayatna, I am very sure I can disconnect the dvesha. Generally what happens, the intention is communicated through the sound and also body language. So I have both understanding through the sound and the body language. the combination, the intention. With this, what you call this Vedic or this our spiritual technique, understanding is better, and also overcoming that bad situation is also much better. I think you might have seen your own, for example, that PO related, payment related, and all. It was irritating me a lot talking to all those people. Now I don't feel that much of irritation. I understand it may not be that person's individual problem, it may be problem with the system. Sometimes I try to see that why that person is like that. So analysis always gives me, I feel that now, you have to love people instead of hating people. And I have practiced since that our COVID situation. I assume that yoga day, that 15 minutes daily yoga I do a prayer end of that. Okay, my own prayer. There I pray for everybody's, something good. Those who are not well, for them, I remember their name and I do that. Then with that, I am able to get a feel that vibration, it goes somewhere, and also like a mirror, it comes back in a positive way. So that is a technique which I am using. Most of the time, awareness, and some point in time in the day, real focus to overcome that. And I can say I have done a progress point of view, it is going well. And for me, it is dhyana. I use that like a dhyana only. Now, anyway, I think with my looking at my the overall the experience and all that, even I feel, what is that I should expect from others? Nothing is required. If my health is good, if possible, do something for others. Otherwise, at least you improve your jnana, focus and all that. With that, dvesha point is coming down like anything. And idea is to bring it maximum time of the day in a very coolest possible level.
Very good.
Night time I have no control.
Night time nobody has control.
Yeah.
When we go to sleep, mind it's on its own. Mind minds its own business. Okay, good. Very nice to hear. So what we need to do is whatever strategy. So basically the 5 sense objects creates dvesha. If you can disconnect from the 5 sense object, the dvesha will go away. How you do it? There are various strategies like seeing the sound as sound, or taste as taste, touch as touch, smell as smell, and all that. Or you can come up with your own strategy. The whole idea is to not to personalize a person. The moment I put a name like my wife and son and friend and enemy and all that, it generally creates dvesha, because the behind that is raga. So dvesha has to be there. So definitely I might not like all creatures as though they are going to be there for me, meaning I am the creator. So it gives me that opinion, which is untrue. All the beings are there based upon karma, not because that I wanted them to be there or not. And number 2 is that it is the same consciousness, or rather it is the consciousness which has taken form, or which has created the form. It's not me who has created the form. So what is that I need to know what is the feeling, I need to know what's the perception I am having, and then act accordingly. Then the dvesha will not come. So next one, Maitri. Now I will explain what I do on Maitri, and then we'll go through all the 3 of you. So Maitri is friendly. Friendly in the sense that if I don't have this thinking of I as so and so person, because the dvesha is not there, then the Maitri is going to be there. The feeling of friendliness. The feeling here is initially in every intellectual normal person is that he is my friend and this person is my enemy, based upon either sight and sound and taste and touch and smell. But once this adveshta happens, then the result of that is Maitri. So when I see any being, it is the consciousness which is locked into that 5 element and it cannot release. So I feel that how this consciousness is attached to it. It can be a human body, it can be an animal body, it can be a bird body or an insect body or whatever body, it doesn't matter. It is just a collection of various things of 5 elements. So the consciousness is connected to 5 elements. So when I investigate like that, I find myself being happy with all the beings. So that creates Maitri. That's my strategy. So now you can tell what is that you are doing for Maitri.
I should start or?
Yeah, anybody can start.
Same sequence.
Same sequence, but you want to go last nowadays. Okay. So, this I've been, even before we started on this spirituality, I used to keep observing. Before I had a driver, so when I was working in Siemens, so I used to go in the car towards MG Road. So you go through all those, from here to MG Road, you go through Alsur and then all these crowded places. So I used to keep watching. There's a lot of people walking around, hurrying up, going somewhere. Where all these people are going? Why everybody is tied to this? Whatever. Even I am also going somewhere. I am also tied to that thing. There is no freedom. So like that, I used to keep observing. And even now also. Then after we had this 2.5 years of session, so I was also keep looking at how much we struggle, like how much I struggle myself when I was a child studying and then coming over here into this place where I don't know anybody in Bangalore and then establishing myself and then going through the same process. Then I'm seeing my own daughter coming up in the same way, struggling, studying and so on. So then I see now Bruno also. So he also kinds of he is there safe inside the home, but then he has his own insecurity. The moment any of us go out or somebody else comes, so he has some even this pressure cooker whistle, he gets scared. So this insecurity. So then I feel kind of sorry for myself and all the people around and everything around. So and that's what I keep looking. And then I feel that kind of, I don't know what to say, compassion or kind of sorry is the right word, I guess. So why we are all trapped like this? So this is the feeling I get. And then I keep looking at that continuously. And then again, when you go, then you have to eat, you have to drink, and you have to, for that, you have to do so many things. That you have to go for work and bring. We go to office and the other people, the maids who come. So they have, and most of the people whom I meet, they always talk about their personal stories to me, their problems and so on. And I have not seen anybody who didn't have any kind of problems. In some, even everything is there also, there is something which is troubling them always. So then I also feel kind of sorry for them as well. So everybody has kind of struggle in this world, in any situation. So that's what, even in office or even in your own family, in your relatives, anybody you take, there is kind of, they are not completely happy for, there will be something troubling them always. So this is what I keep observing. And then you will also feel that, you will also feel sorry for yourself and I also feel sorry for others. So all of us are similar and struggling. This is what I keep doing.
Yeah, Lata, what you are talking is more of compassion, karuna.
Okay.
It is not Maitri. But it is right. It is the next one what Krishna is talking about. But anyway, I get, because Maitri is being friendly with all beings. You will,
Okay.
because when you lose the dvesha, you will automatically become friendly to everyone. So,
So
yeah,
for me, so if even if somebody has in earlier days somebody has told me something wrong and I know that somebody has done something behind my back, but when that person comes in front of me, I talk in a normal way. I don't even remember those things. I talk to those person in a very friendly way only. There won't be anything in my mind. Only after that person moves away from my friend of me and then go after the conversation, then only I'll remember. Oh, okay, but then when I am at that moment, it doesn't come.
good,
It's something which I it doesn't bother me when I'm seeing that person and talking to them at that moment.
nice, very nice. Okay, so you answered two of them. So the next one we don't have to ask you, because next one was Karuna. So let's hear to the
Okay.
Maitri from other two people. Yeah, Padmashri, it
Okay.
is your turn.
Yeah. Now I can continue with the same example because I used to always think, what is it that irritates me? Is it the sound or the source of that sound? Because the cat is making the sound. Is the cat that is irritating me, or it is the sound that is irritating me? Once I gave the importance that it is the sound and then tried to ignore, meaning practice to ignore that sound, I felt that I really liked the cat as well because it was, I didn't have any kind of feeling of animosity or anything with that cat, because otherwise I felt earlier to that, before I started this experiment, I always, the moment I see a cat also, I get very irritated because it was not because the cat was irritating, it was because I remembered the sound that it created and I associated with that. And then I started to, I felt that the animosity was no longer there once I started working on the sound. And then I started to be friendly with the cats. So that is where I felt it is very related. The moment you start to push away Vesha, automatically the friendliness starts to creep in with anything. And with friendliness, then okay, again, if I have to go further, then I also used to think, what is it that makes the cat? Maybe it's kind of insecure. It is trying to tell something to somebody else that it is having a problem or so there was a compassion feeling also. We are not understanding it to get it out of the trouble, but it must be having its own set of troubles. So I associated the whole thing with the cat because that was something which we used to quite often happen, especially in this post-COVID situation where we are working from home. This would happen very often. But I used to feel very irritated with myself that why am I giving so much importance? So when I started to do this breakdown, I felt I was more calm and more being able to accept the fact that yes, this, this is about to happen. There are so many things that happen like that, but only this was creating so much of trouble for me. And now once I started to really uh, put uh, put into practice all these kinds of things, like disassociating everything, meaning not disintegrating all of them, identifying that as a sound, sight, etc. Then I started to feel a little bit, feel more friendliness towards the cat also, and also some kind of compassion towards it.
Good, very nice. So you also did the other two. So, okay. So, but
Yeah. I think in my case, because I am involved in multiple places because of the social connection and public connection. I think my past 20-25 years, I spent maximum time. My family is one part and maximum is outside. I have seen the environment wherever I go, either when I interact with that daily wage workers in my native place, till connection with the corporate big people where I had social connection. I found that friendliness is there by default with everybody as long as you are okay with them. Public place means everybody expect your service. If you are able to give, naturally happens. It's both ways happens. Uh, because that was my passion, I have spent my time and I found that friendliness is a natural way happens. And always when you are in the public such places, there will be two kinds of people. They are looking for their own set of people wants to. It's like a lobby, no? They wants to show they want to get the benefit and all that. Somebody else will work, silent people, and somebody else will get the benefit. So that time I've seen some dvesha and also some problem happens between two groups. But when I go there, for me both the groups are like same. The friendliness is there with both the groups, no problem. Because it's in any organization that's very very common. And when I started doing this Veda study here since now more than 5 years, this is more of that connection with the Rashtriya Swayamsevaka kind of feeling. Because their only friendliness works, there is nothing else. They don't bring any dvesha anywhere. Everybody is so adjustable and everybody is so much of giving. They are coming there to only to help others. And tribute for them the right place, right position is available. Every person respect other person. So that's one way of learning, and that too within that, there is one Veda group. I found much more better there. People are there like homely. And what I feel inside my home, same thing I feel in that Veda community, irrespective of their age and all that, as a family. So much of strong connection. So that is one thing which I learned from this environment. And in the office environment also, as long as you are taking much advanced decisions and also you are taking care of your people, the friendliness is there irrespective of again the levels. It naturally comes. But if you are got stuck and you don't know what to plan for tomorrow, and you will get into a situation where the other side, those who are expecting, they don't get from you. So naturally the friction comes and then it goes to the level of dvesha. So that means if you want to have that the friendliness, maitri, it is very much required. It should be advanced planning because you are a part of something always, and even home also. You have to balance in such a way that nobody will point their finger at you. And to maintain that, it is good effort is required. My thinking is actually by default the prapancha is maitri, they are friendly, including the animals. But if we don't properly take care of that, it will convert to that dvesha. So for me, this is working fine. I can say I don't have to do much work by default with me. Thanks to my family.
Okay, fine.
I have a question. Why does always friction lead to dvesha? Because friction, when I describe friction, let me tell you my definition of friction. It is not about you don't like people. It is that they are exhibiting an idea, and you are saying no, that is not the. I think different. So of course, when two people think differently, there is always friction. But that should that always lead to dvesha?
No, it need not.
Should there be no friction at all? Because if there is no friction at all, then Adi Shankaracharya having those debates was not required at all. He could have simply accepted what the other person said and moved on.
No.
So, my definition, friction means that when the ideas are different, you are trying to say that the ideas are different. And then there is a discussion going on to make something, to kind of conclude something. So so if that is the definition of friction, that always doesn't lead to dvesha.
Okay, so if it gets personalized, it turns into dvesha. If there is no personalization, it doesn't turn into anything.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So always personalization need not happen. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I wanted to tell.
Correct.
It is the clash of ideas. It is not clash of personalities.
As long as it is not clash of personality, because eventually every human being will convert that into a personality clash rather than an ideological clash, meaning ideas are different, it can be different, but we turn that into an clash of personality, that this person is not good. that once comes into existence will create dvesha for sure, because at that time I will
So, because the moment there is a change in idea, everybody feels that, or automatically that moves to personality clash.
correct,
Why
correct.
should that move to personality clash?
Because there is always I being there, meaning I know this or I know that, or this is not true, that is not true, or something like that. This ideology itself is personal related. So as long as it can, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, what you're saying is right. The ideology is personal related because it's all based on the ideology comes out of, is born out of the experience, the knowledge that the person has picked up. But still, that is an ideology. Meaning, yes, it is coming out of that, it is born out of that. But does not mean something, so something else is born out of somebody else. The ideology is not matching, and then there is a clash. But you still have to, because why I felt, why I'm saying this one is, the moment I disassociated the sound from the cat, I didn't have any feeling of dvesha for the cat.
Correct.
Okay, and then I had to only handle the sound. But ideology is also like that, right? Meaning it is,
Yes.
yes, of course it takes birth, because obviously the cat only has produced that sound. So it takes birth there. But the ideology is, when you're fighting, when the fight is with an ideology, it doesn't have to be a fight in person, meaning it doesn't need to be that I am fighting with you. Right? But most often it is taken like that. And this is where I always beginning from very long time. See, either you, if you are silent, then it is okay, it is good. But if you are saying, if you are differing, then immediately it starts to become a personality clash.
Yeah, the personality clash happens because of loss and gain, right? So let us say if I take sound as sound, or taste as taste, touch as touch, smell as smell, and sight as sight, thought as thought, then there is no clash. Even though ideologically I might vary, let us say I were to explain this to somebody and that somebody doesn't agree. I have a friend of mine who believes that anything below, or rather anyone who is not a madhva is not at all valid to be a human being in his view. That is the view what he has. So if I were to talk to him on any spiritual matter, he will immediately say that, you know how lucky you are to be born as a madhva, and he gives me a sermon on why I should be a madhva. That is his ideological way of looking, or it is his idea or opinion or thought or whatever we can call. The moment I get heated up by that words what he is saying, that means I have taken it personally instead of taking it as an ideology. So if I were to see him as a mixture of 5 sense object of sight, sound, taste, touch, smell, and thoughts, 6 of them, so then it becomes very easy not to get carried away by that. Otherwise I'll get carried away by what he is saying. So ideologically I can also explain to him patiently that why it should not be the case, but I will not go and try to convince him, or I will tell him, yeah, both are not required. Yes, both are not required.
Not stating your ideology and being silent and giving him a feeling that you have accepted it.
No, that is wrong.
It doesn't need to be done. Yeah, that doesn't need to be done.
Exactly. So the way,
Because you don't want to show you.
yes, so the way to, correct. Sorry. Yeah, Padmashri, go ahead.
You understood what I.
So I,
See, for me, there is always this clash because this the moment you start to refute the ideology, most of them take it personal. And
yes,
the moment that happens, it leads to dvesha. So if you want to avoid those types of situations, being silent is one of the options.
which is not the right option.
I am not matching.
No, which is not at all a right
Yeah,
option.
because like that, as you said, like that, even I have this feel that if you have done the best punya in the world, you will be born as a human being. Amongst them, you have done the best punya, then you will become a brahmin. Then if you have done even punya than that, then you will become a madhava. And then if you have done even punya in that, then you will be a man of man. So for me, that whole ideology was like surprising. Of course, I still there's no dvesha for the person because it's not just because he's related, but that is his ideology. That is what he thinks it is as life.
Yes.
So it's okay. I try to convince that. I try to say that is not the way it should be. But then it's okay if he is not getting convinced. But that kind of ideologies are there. But then I don't try to clash there because I am not an exponent of this one also. I just think and smile. But then there are areas where in our professional life where we have to give the opposite ideology. And most often it is construed as some kind of a clash of personality.
Yes.
And that is where I always have a little bit of a issue even in a professional environment.
No, even in that case, what happens, Padma Shri, is that if you are neutral, you are just walking and talking on the ideology, the energy level at which you speak will have a very calmness to it. So the other person will not get agitated. If that sound is causing me agitation, I would have got agitated by that person's way of putting it in the first place. So the ideology is already taken a turn of personal, little personal or more personal, it doesn't matter, that heating up is already there. So once I have got heated up, that gets shown up in that person as well. Let's say if that person is agitated by my sound, and then if I become calm, meaning I don't give much importance to the sound what I am talking about, then his agitation is going to reduce. So eventually it's not that we need to confront the ideologies, you need to confront the ideology, but what you will see within yourself is there will be no dvesha and there will be maitri and karuna to that person, because then he will also feel, he might not agree with the ideology, but definitely he will not himself have animosity towards me, because I don't have any animosity towards that person. And even if he has an animosity towards me, I will not have any animosity. So just because I am hitting at the ideology doesn't mean that the person should get really worked up. Another way to look at myself is, if I am sweating while I am talking, that means I am increasing my energy, no matter whether it is air conditioned or not, the sweat is going to happen. So if the sweating is happening, it very clearly shows that I have already got agitated. Agitated means I have already created dvesha of either sight or sound or whatever that is. So it has lost. So now I need to correct that. So if I keep on working like that, then ideological differences will be easy to take, because there won't be any dvesha, because there is no sweating. So one of the easiest way to find whether I am myself agitated or not, to see whether I am sweating and I am getting heated up. The moment we observe that, it stops. Okay, good. So 9:28. So shall we end here and take the remaining things tomorrow?
Yep. Okay.
Because the next one is
this session.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, but
Today's session was good because you made us to share our experience, because some understanding, better, deeper understanding of this Maitri and all that. So it helped.
no, that is the reason I said yesterday that all the 40 we will go through. There is no urgency for me to finish it off. So we can take this for as many days as it comes. The idea is, at the end of 40, you need to experience it. So you need to experience this Brahman consciousness.
Yes.
So we will go it slowly, and we will correct wherever we are not doing it.
Yeah, somewhere understanding is also poor, our understanding.
So,
And, I think this helps.
yep. Okay. Right about time.
Thank
So
you.
we'll meet
Good day.
tomorrow. Good
Okay,
day.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.